Hi friends! Today I am going to be testing out, I just got the new collection from Colourpop. It's part of their Celestial collection. This is the All Things Equinox palette. So I have the eyeshadow palette here, the blush that goes with this, this part of the collection. It's called Interstellar. And then the two lip glosses that are in this half of the collection as well. So I wanted to share this with you. As you can see, I already have all of my other face makeup on, so we're just gonna kind of test out these products here and then see kind of what my opinion is on them. I was really excited when they launched this palette because it is a nice kind of like purpley, mauve-y toned type palette, and I love these types of colors, so I was really excited to see that this was kind of the vibe that they were going for. They have another half of the collection as well, which happens to be a little bit more like warm toned, and I believe that one's called the She's Got Solstice palette, but the purple is just right up my alley, so I was very excited about that. So we are going to be using the eyeshadow palette, the blush, and the lip gloss today. And then I'll insert like swatches and stuff here in a moment. So I already again have all my face makeup on except for the blush, so we are going to start with that. This blush is a matte pressed powder blush. Typically I like blush that has a little bit more shimmer in the blush versus the like matte look, but I really love the color and the tone of this. It's kind of like a just mauve-y, more natural shade. So I am just going to use a fluffy brush here and just apply it here to my cheeks. It looks like the color, the application at first is just very sheer, so I'm going to try and build that up a little bit. There we go, getting some payoff here. I also changed my setup a little bit if you didn't notice. So my natural lighting is all on this side, so I'm not sure how I like that yet. But I like my vanity facing this direction. I really like this color. And the formula is nice. I really like Colourpop's pressed powder blushes. I'm going to bring this a little bit across my nose as well. I'm just going to take my brush that I used for my powder and kind of blend that in a little bit. I really like this. This is actually a very similar color to like what I would naturally blush as, so I think it's very nice for my skin tone. I'm just going to touch up my highlighter here a little bit. Just to make sure that those spots that I like sitting on top of the blush are extra shiny. I like this. Big fan of the color. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the eyeshadow palette now. Again, just a nice like purpley mauve-y kind of a color story here, just like a nice thing that like kind of a everyday look for me. I know not everybody loves the purples as much as I do, and I actually really don't have that many like true purples in my collection, or even like lilacs or lavenders, so I think this is gonna be a good kind of like venture into color, especially like this lilac color here. That's really pretty. So we're gonna actually, let's see. I think I want to start with the lilac color here. It's called Stellar. This one here. And I'm gonna put that in the crease. I did notice while I was swatching these, I did notice that they are a little bit more kind of pastel, and they're not as vibrant as they look in the pan. So when they swatch and like when you put them on the eyes, they do take a little bit longer, I think, or as I'm noticing now, I haven't used this palette yet. It's going to take a little bit longer to kind of build up, but I'm okay with that, especially with color. I like to take my time and just kind of add so that I can get what depth that I want out of it. I'm not a huge fan of like pressed pigments and stuff that's gonna go on like super vibrant all at once, just because I feel like it's harder to blend, it's harder to work with, and you have to be very precise when you're using more pressed pigments versus, I'm a little bit messier when I do my eyeshadow, so I like just that kind of more sheer wash of color to begin with. So I'm just taking the time and building up this purple. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit more of a dense brush here, and I'm going to dip into, let's go with Nebula, this like mauve shade in the bottom there. This one I did notice, it picks up a lot of fallout, just like there's a lot of kickback in the pan, you can kind of see. Yeah. But I don't mind that, personally, it doesn't really bother me, but I know a lot of people do care about it, so. But I'm just throwing that a little bit deeper into the crease, just to add a little bit more dimension. This color reminds me a lot of some of the colors in the Blush Crush palette, but I did compare those two, and they're not really similar at all as far as like color stories. This one's a lot more, again, purpley, lilac-y, and that one is very much kind of a pink toned palette. Alright, I'm just gonna take my pencil brush here and take that first lilac shade called Stellar, and we're gonna go just along the lower lash line with that. Alright, and then I'm gonna take just a little bit of Nebula on that same pencil brush and just do from about my midpoint of my lower lash line and drag it out to my outer corner. And then I'm just going to clean up a little bit on the outer corners because, again, I'm super messy when I do my eyeshadow. Trying to decide what I want to do here. There's not a ton of like depth and like a darker shade to kind of deepen up the outer corner, but I think I'm going to mix together this gray color here, Sky High, with that Nebula color that we use that's down in the bottom, to make kind of a deeper toned mauve color. See if this works. Oh, yeah. And then just kind of blend it up into the crease a little bit, mostly focusing it there on the outer corner. When I saw pictures, I thought of this palette, I thought that the gray was going to be more of a like taupe color, but it really is almost like a true gray. All right, and I'm just going to blend that out with the fluffy brush. And again, just cleaning up underneath. and then I'm gonna take my little baby pencil brush and do that same combination for just the outer portion of my lower lash line here. Alright, I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that first purple shade and make sure that my entire lower lash line is nice and like blended. And I'm gonna take this middle top shade here called Infinity, this shimmer, on my finger, and I'm just going to put that, kind of tap it onto my lid here. So I'm tapping and then kind of dragging it just out to the outer corner. And then taking that brush that we used for a crease in our outer corner and just blending over to make sure that those edges are nice and blended in here. So there's no harsh lines. Alright, get a little bit closer so you guys can see a little bit better. I'm going to take my little baby kind of fluffy brush and dip into the first shade here, Kindred. And we're gonna try to use this as an inner corner highlight. Looks like it'll be light enough. Ooh, that's really pretty. That would look really nice on the lid as well. This is the kind of color that I like to wear on my eyelid on a like everyday basis. I could see myself literally just throwing Nebula in the crease, maybe a little bit of Sky High on the outer corner, and this shade here, Kindred, just on the lid, like for an everyday basis kind of look. That is so bright. I love that. This would be a really good face highlight too, actually. I'm gonna pop a little bit of that on my nose here. I love that. Okay, and then just taking whatever is left over and just on my brow bone. My eyebrows are super messy right now because they definitely need done, but there's nowhere open to get them done, so yay, quarantine. All right, and then I'm just gonna take one last time my big fluffy brush and just kind of blend everything together here. All right. And then I'm going to take my Colourpop BFF liner. This is the shade Brouhaha. It's just a nice brown color. I'm going to warm it up a little bit on the back of my hand here. And then I'm just going to take it really close to the lashes. So I went ahead and grabbed a little tiny angled brush, and then I'm just going to pick up a little bit of what is left on the back of my hand here and just kind of smudge this out so it's a little bit more smoky looking. I like this technique because it definitely doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm never really that great at eyeliner, so kind of like that it is kind of more, it's always like a more messy look, so. All right, I'm gonna clean up under my eyes here one more time. gonna take my nude Colourpop BFF liner, and this is the shade Honey Dude. We're gonna warm that up again on the back of the hand, and then I'm just gonna go into my waterline. I like doing this especially when I have more of a like pink toned or purple toned shadow on my lower lash line, because it kind of creates a distinction between your waterline and the shadow, and it just makes it kind of look a little bit more open, and I don't find that it makes my eyes look like they're red or irritated. Versus if I skip this step, sometimes pinks and purples will make them look a little bit more, like, it'll almost make my eyes look like they're kind of watery and bloodshot, but they're not. So, perfect. All right, I'm gonna go apply mascara really quick. Okay, so I'm back. I just applied some mascara, and then I'm gonna do both of these lip glosses one at a time, just so you can see kind of the difference in the shades. I have worn one of these once, and I love it. This is the new Luxe gloss by Colourpop, and this is the shade that I wore, and it's in Tied Up. So this one is more of a I would say a mauve-y color with some flecks of silver sparkle. So here's this one. And I don't have any lip liner or anything on, so this is just on my lips, just what it looks like. So yeah, I don't think that you can really see the silver sparkle like on the lips. I think it just gives it a nice like dimension. And I do believe this is an existing shade already. They just put it in the packaging for the All Things Equinox. I think this one might be a new shade though, Staying Up, and it's a matte gloss, and it's a little bit deeper and more warm toned than this one, which this is like my go-to everyday kind of a shade, is like that mauve-y cool toned gloss. So give me 1 second, I'm gonna take this one off, and then I'll come back and put the other one on. Okay, so now we're gonna try Staying Up. I haven't actually tried this one yet, so I'm excited to see what it looks like. And I actually really like, one thing I like about these glosses is they have this little like pocket in the applicator, which is super interesting. I've never seen anything like this. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus on it here. Not really, but that's okay. But they have this little pocket that kind of picks up the product, so you don't need to like go back in and like dip back in again, because it picks up just the right amount, which I love. Ooh, this is a nice color. This is a little bit more, like I said, warm toned. So I'm not sure that it's, you know, my favorite with this cool toned purple look, but this would be nice with a more either neutral or warm toned look, I think. And these glosses are so comfortable. I wore one the other day, and they also smell really nice. Kind of like vanilla-y, but also like fruity. I don't know, it's weird. But I wore this the other day on top of a lip liner, and it stayed for hours. Like, I was eating, I was drinking coffee and everything, and it was still on my lips. Like, you could still see the color, I could still feel it. Like, they're really moisturizing. They're really awesome. So I'm gonna take this one off again, and then I'm gonna do my actual lip combo that I'm gonna wear for the day, and I will come back and we'll do that together. Okay, I do find that they leave a little bit of a stain too, which I kind of like, because I feel like you get that color payoff like throughout the day, even once the gloss itself is kind of worn off. Yeah, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna go for, ooh, as I'm dropping things everywhere here. I'm definitely gonna wear the Tied Up shade because I feel like it matches this eye look better. It's more cool toned, but I think I'm going to do my lip liner from NYX in Peekaboo Neutral underneath it, because I think it'll be a good match. I haven't tried this together yet though. And I'm just gonna fill my lips in with this liner. This liner is kind of the color of my lips after they were stained with that gloss, but it's fine. All right, and then we're gonna go in again with Tied Up on top. And I actually don't mind with the these glosses dipping back in and like putting the applicator directly on my lips after I have a lip liner or a lipstick on, because they're already so pigmented, like they're really opaque, so I feel like they're not going to get like all gross inside the bottle like a more like traditional or clear type of a lip gloss would. All right, see, I think it just adds like that little extra bit of like dimension that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily always have in a lip gloss. So I really like it, and I like everything honestly. But just to kind of wrap up and final thoughts here, this blush is a really nice like everyday color for me. Again, it's kind of the color that I would like naturally flush if I were hot and sweaty, and that's always what I kind of look for tone-wise in a blush, especially since I am so fair that a lot of blushes just are either too pigmented or just too deep for me. So I really like this one. Yeah, and again, I love Colourpop's blush formulas. They're something that I've done, like worn for quite a while now. I have a few of them, so I really like this. And the palette I really like so far. I'm excited to kind of play around with it and do a few more looks. Yeah, so super excited about that. I love the combination of like mattes and shimmers that it comes with. You know, you get a decent mix. You have, let's see, 4 shimmers here. So you have these two, this middle shade here, and then this shade here as well. And then you have 2 sequin colors, I guess is what they call them. They have the kind of like shimmer in them. This one here, Stellar, has a little bit of shimmer, but you can't really see it once you put it on the lids. But Alter Ego, this color here, definitely has a decent amount of shimmer in it, and it's really pretty too. It's almost like a glitter topper, but with like a pigment behind it, if that makes any sense. It's definitely unique. I don't have anything like it in my collection. And then you get 3 true mattes. So you have your more mauve toned, kind of a neutral brown, and then the more gray toned. So I think it's a really nice, well-rounded palette, and I think the packaging is stunning. It's just so cute. And then on the back where they have all the shade names, this packaging is like raised up, so it's, I don't know, it's just really sleek looking in my opinion. And the glosses, of course, I absolutely love. I love lip gloss anyways, so it's not like it's anything you know, kind of surprising to me that I do like these, but they just feel so luxurious on the lips. Like after taking those on and off, like I don't feel like my lips were like in pain at all. Like they're nice and comfortable to wear. Even, I don't know, just taking them on and off doesn't really seem to bother me, but again, they kind of leave behind that stain and a little bit of like the I don't know, that nourishing feeling. Like they're kind of soft, like almost like if you were to wear like a long-lasting lip balm. That's kind of what it feels like to me. So I don't know, I really like them. I liked everything that I tried in the collection, so I'm gonna keep playing with it, and I might do, you know, a couple other videos with this palette just to see, because I feel like there's a lot of looks that you can kind of get out of this. There's a lot of versatility in my opinion. Like, yes, you do have, you know, all of a purple kind of color story, but I don't know, I feel like there's, you know, a little bit more variety than I was expecting in this palette. So keep playing around with it, kind of see what I think. And that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!